All right, joining us now this morning is political analyst John Dadian. John, first let's start with the local mayoral debates and mayoral contests. Not much in surprise yesterday from last night's debates.
Well, not much from the debate. To be honest with you, the debate was going on. It ended a little bit after 4, so even people in the audience were squirming to find out who was going to be qualifying for that 5 o'clock deadline.
19. And there were, 19 now. It's submitted.
19 have made this, so that was down from, I believe the high was 39, so it was cut down to 19 that have actually got the proper paperwork and other things such as a filing fee in. But then, now the signatures have to be checked, and I predict several of those it'll slim down a little bit more than that.
And last night we had that first mayoral debate. 3 candidates showed up. Nathan Fletcher, not there. Many people wondering, where was he?
His campaign claimed that it was a scheduling conflict, and I've been a scheduling director on campaigns, so I know that does happen. It's crazy to try to coordinate schedules. So on one hand, that's probably true. On the other hand, I would have moved heaven and earth to try to have him there because you don't want the other 3 to get any attention. 60 days is when the election's going to happen. That's a very short time period. You need to take advantage of every opportunity.
Where do you position these candidates right now? Where do you think that, are we looking at top 2, or are we looking at maybe a 3rd candidate coming into what appears to be the Republican Kevin Faulconer and Nathan Fletcher being the top 2 candidates?
No, you're clearly looking at the Kevin Faulconer will get into the runoff without a doubt, and probably finish first just because he is the one main solid Republican candidate. So the battle clearly is for the number 2 position, and you've got 2 real credible candidates, David Alvarez and Nathan Fletcher. Then you've got Micah Gary, and the Micah Gary factor is interesting because it might affect who gets in number 2 as far as what votes he draws off just by his pure name ID. But clearly the 3 Democrats are fighting to get in that number 2 slot.
And what can we expect in future debates?
Oh, I think within a couple of weeks, you won't see what you saw yesterday. You will see that it gets very heated. And clearly, as we saw in the general election of last year, as it gets closer to Election Day, it's going to be very, very tense and very hot. And we're going to see a lot of jabs being thrown.
Talk about the national picture now, what's going on in Washington, and House Republicans making a big statement yesterday, and even other Republicans actually some infighting on the GOP side as to what their strategy is for the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah, and clearly what the strategy is there's a lot, the Affordable Care Act and whether or not the national debt and the debt ceiling and all that. Clearly what's going on is the Republican, as far as the caucus, the leadership, is trying to pigeonhole certain Democrats in the Senate level to get them in tough positions for their re-election next year. That's really what's going on, the strategy. We know that, there's no doubt in my mind that we're not going to, the government's not going to shut down. No, neither side wants that.
You don't think so?
Oh, I don't think so at all. Neither side wants that. Neither wins. And of course, we have some very recent examples of history. The most famous one being in the mid-90s, where it actually did shut down, and it backlashed on at that time the Republican majority, and that basically cost Newt Gingrich his speakership.
All right, political analyst John Dadian, thanks for being with us this morning.
Very good.
Nice to see you this morning.
Very good.
Thanks for coming.